Who's the absolute strongest character in every major One Piece arc? We're breaking down the most powerful fighters from Romance Dawn all the way to Egghead, and honestly, some of these picks might surprise you. Let's dive in, starting with Romance Dawn. And you might think Luffy, since he's our main character launching his pirate journey, right? But it's gotta be Shanks. This man casually scared off a Sea King with just his Conqueror's Haki before we even knew what Haki was. Yeah, he sacrificed his arm saving Luffy, but that doesn't change the fact he's operating on a completely different level than everyone else in this arc. Moving to Orange Town, Luffy takes on Buggy and his crew. Buggy's got that Chop Chop fruit letting him dodge attacks, but Luffy's raw fighting skills and natural strength completely outclass him. Our captain takes this one pretty easily. Now, Syrup Village introduces Captain Kura with his silent step technique and sneaky plans to steal Kaya's fortune. Tough fight for sure, but Luffy's determination and power shine through. He's clearly the strongest here. Baratie gets interesting. Don Krieg shows up calling himself the strongest man in the East Blue with all his weapons and armor. Luffy's definitely powerful at this point, but then Mihawk appears. The world's strongest swordsman casually slices Don Krieg's entire fleet apart with what looks like a tiny knife, then beats Zoro in a duel without even trying. The gap between him and everyone else is absolutely massive. Arlong Park is where Luffy really proves himself though. Arlong's got that natural fisherman strength advantage. They're literally 10 times stronger than humans underwater. But Luffy smashing through Arlong and his entire base in that iconic moment, that rage-fueled power puts him at the top of this arc. Jumping to Logtown, Smoker seems completely unstoppable with his Smoke Logia double fruit, nearly capturing Luffy before he can even reach the Grand Line. But then Dragon shows up out of nowhere. Luffy's mysterious father just effortlessly saves him and vanishes into the storm. The most wanted man in the world controlling the weather itself, he takes this spot. Reverse Mountain has the crew meeting Laboon and Crocus, the former doctor of Roger's crew. Crocus has that legendary pirate experience and knowledge, easily making him the strongest character in this brief arc. Whiskey Peak has Zoro going absolutely crazy, fighting 100 Baroque Works agents solo while everyone else is passed out. That's genuinely insane, and he tears through them. But when Luffy and Zoro clash over a misunderstanding, they're pretty evenly matched. Luffy edges him out as the stronger of the two at this point in the story. Lil Garden is really interesting. Luffy defeats Mr. 3 after the wax user nearly kills everyone with his devil fruit powers. But the giants Dory and Broggy, their combined Elbaf spear attack literally one-shot to massive Island Eater Sea King. Despite being weakened from 100 years of fighting each other, their raw power is just on another level. They take the crown here. Drum Island has Luffy going up against the tyrant Tiwapol, who's trying to reclaim his kingdom. Luffy sends him flying without breaking a sweat, easily the strongest in this winter arc. Alabasta brings some serious powerhouses. Crocodile is a warlord with his sand fruit, nearly kills Luffy twice. Our captain only wins on the third attempt with help from water and sheer willpower. Smoker is chasing them the whole time, and Nico Robin is lurking in the shadows. But Ace steals the show completely. His Flame fruit powers lets him wreck entire Baroque Works fleets effortlessly, and his Logi abilities put him above everyone else here. Ace is the strongest in Alabasta. Jaya introduces Blackbeard and his crew, and even though Luffy one-shots Bellamy to show the difference in their strength, Blackbeard's on another level entirely. His Darkness fruit that can nullify other devil fruits, his crazy ambition, you can feel that future Yonko energy radiating off him. Blackbeard's the strongest here. Skypiea brings Enel, and this is peak villain power, honestly. Yeah, Luffy beats him because rubber naturally counters electricity, but think about Enel's actual abilities. Island-wide observation Haki that lets him hear everything, lightning powers that can restart his own heart. Without Luffy's natural immunity giving him plot armor, Enel's practically unstoppable. He's easily the strongest in this arc. Long Ring Longland seems super goofy with Foxy and his slow beam powers, and after Luffy defeats him in the Davy backfight. But then Admiral Aokiji shows up and everything changes. This man casually freezes an entire ocean, then proceeds to destroy Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji without even trying. Admiral-level power on full display. Aokiji's the strongest here by a mile. Water 7 introduces CP9 and the Galley-less shipwrights. Rob Lucci, with his Leopard Zoan form and mastery of Rokushiki techniques, is genuinely terrifying. He sends both Luffy and Zoro flying with minimal effort. At this point in the story, Lucci's clearly the strongest character in this arc. Speaking of absolute powerhouses, I actually covered the top 8 strongest female characters in One Piece. Info cards popping up if you want to check that out. But let's finish strong. Enies lobby changes everything. This is where Luffy debuts Gear 2 and Gear 3 for the first time. After that absolutely brutal final fight where both fighters are pushed to their absolute limits, Luffy finally surpasses Lucci. This is the moment where our captain truly takes that next step in strength. Post Enies lobby is short but impactful. Garp shows up and we see Kobe and Helmeppo's insane glow-ups after training, but Garp casually throwing cannonballs with his bare hands, the legendary marine hero who cornered the Pirate King multiple times, even past his prime, he's the strongest here easily. Thriller Bark has Gecko Moria and his Shadow fruit stealing everyone's shadows. Luffy takes him down with help from the crew and absorbs shadows, proving his strength. But then Bartholomew Kuma arrives and absolutely demolishes everyone present. His Pawpaw Fruit lets him repel anything, even pain and fatigue. If not for Zoro's legendary sacrifice taking all of Luffy's damage, the crew would be finished. Kuma's clear strongest. Sabaody Archipelago gets absolutely chaotic. All the worst generation pirates show up. Luffy, Law, Kid, and the others are all powerful rookies making waves. But then Admiral Kizaar arrives moving at literal light speed and destroying them all like they're nothing. Even with Rayleigh and Kuma helping, Kizaar is completely dominant. Admiral Power is just built different. He's the strongest in this arc. Amazon Lee is all about Boa Hancock. Her Love Fruit can turn anyone attracted to her into stone. She's got all 3 types of Haki mastered, and she one-shots pacifistas effortlessly. On her island, she's the undisputed strongest. Impel Down brings Magellan, and his Venom Fruit is absolutely broken. He defeats Luffy in their first encounter easily, and later he even wrecks Blackbeard's entire crew by himself. Inside this prison, his poison powers make him virtually unbeatable. Magellan's the strongest here. That's every major arc from East Blue through Impel Down. The power scaling keeps getting crazy, and we haven't even hit Marineford yet. This is part 1. Part 2, covering the Marineford through Egghead, is coming soon with even more insane power reveals. Which pick surprised you most so far? Drop your thoughts below. Subscribe to FortuNeko and hit that hype button. Catch you in part 2.